Hello friends, so I'm just gonna film a quick intro while I have a minute. I just got off work a little bit ago, ate dinner, watched some TV, and about to head to Barnes to read for a little bit, but I just want to do an intro. So this week's video is going to be another new releases vlog. So for this vlog, we have The Perfect Divorce by Jeneva Rose, which is the second book to The Perfect Marriage, which came out a couple years ago. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. The plot of this one doesn't sound as enticing. So we'll see how that goes. That just came out yesterday or the day before or something like that. Bought it, ready to read that. Nice little thriller moment. And then on audio, I'm actually listening to Finley Donovan Digs Her Own Grave, which is the 5th book in the Finley Donovan series. Love me some Finley Donovan. So I've been listening to that. I'm on chapter 7. Typical Finley Donovan book. It's fun. You're following Finley, her kids, her ex-husband, and her nanny in quite an adventure. Now Mrs. Haggerty's getting involved even more than she normally is, and I'm living. It's such a fun time. I love listening to the audiobooks. The narrator's a phenom. So yes, that's pretty much the update. I haven't started The Perfect Divorce yet. I'm still finishing Oathbringer. I have like 100 and something pages left, so I'm like really hoping I can finish today. It's picking up. Loving it. We all know I love Oathbringer, love Stormlight, loving these characters, and things are happening, but that's not what this video is about. So I will update you guys once I start The Perfect Divorce and get a little bit into it, and I will also update you guys once I get a little bit further into Finley Donovan. Just wanted to update you guys and let you guys know the game plan, and I will catch you guys when I've done a little bit more reading. So I wanted to film a quick update. I have to start work in just a little bit, but I have literally not talked to the camera in days. And I finished 2 of the 3 books I'm been reading in this vlog. So I started and finished Finley Donovan Digs Her Own Grave by Elle Cosimano. I listened to that on audio. I did also receive an e-arc of that book. I gave it a 3.75, rounded up to a 4 on Goodreads. I love the Finley Donovan series, and this series is just so fun and entertaining. This one was a little bit less comedic than the other ones I noticed. It was a little bit more serious, but we get to dive into Mrs. Haggerty's character a little more, which I found super interesting. So yeah, I mean, this book is typical. It's just the next installment. You're following Vero with Finley and her kids, and you know, all the antics, her ex-husband, everything they get up to. If you haven't read the Finley Donovan series, I highly, highly recommend checking it out. It is just such a fun like time. Like I said, I love the characters. I just love being back in the world. And I believe that there's definitely going to be more written based on how this one ended. So 3.75 out of 5 for that. Really, really good. Not my favorite, but still such a fun time. Then I read and finished The Perfect Divorce by Jeneva Rose. So I gave that book a 2 out of 5. I'm leaning towards like a 2.5. So you're following our main character, Sarah Morgan, from the first book, where her husband was accused of killing his mistress. She was his defense attorney. You see how that plays out. Fast forward to this book, you're following Sarah 12 years after that whole situation happens. Multiple point of views, from the new sheriff for Sarah and to someone called Unknown. And we're just essentially following all these characters while they try to like put together what's going on. I mean, it was definitely an interesting read. It was very fast paced. I just found it to be very predictable. So, and I just, like, even the plot twists, like, I wasn't super invested. Like, I was like, oh, okay, like, that was interesting. But, like, as I was reading it, like, I wasn't, like, shocked or anything. Like, I kind of saw as things were happening, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or, you know, like, oh, okay, like, got it. That, I guess that could happen. And it kind of, it followed a very similar structure to the first book. Like I said, 2.5 for that one. So reading plans. So I forgot how close the 22nd is. It's literally tomorrow. So we're also going to be reading Big Beautiful Life, Great Big Beautiful Life, something like that, by Emily Henry. Emily Henry's new book. So we'll be reading that in this vlog as well. So yeah, that's kind of everything I got to say. And nothing, it was the holiday this weekend, so busy with all that hosting stuff. Don't have too much else to update you guys on other than that. I will keep you guys posted and catch you guys in the next clip. Hello friends, so I just wanted to film an update because I don't remember, I think I talked to you guys this morning, but I just wanted to, like I said, do a quick update. So it is currently almost 10:30 at night and I'm on chapter 14, page 144, 36% of the way through Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and I am eating it up. Oh my god. This, to me, is starting to feel more like beach read and book lovers, and those were like my favorites. Like, I'm feeling so much more enjoyment reading this than I did when I read Happy Place and even Funny People. Or Funny Story. So far, like, I'm definitely enjoying this one more than her last two books, which gets me so excited. So I'm having such a fabulous time. What the book is about. So far, essentially, you're following Alice and Hayden, and there's this socialite named Margaret Ives, and she essentially went, like, off the grid like 30 years ago, and then, or a recluse 30 years ago, and then completely off the grid 20 years like after that. And so for like 50 years, like, no one has like really talked to her, and no one like knows where she lives. But our girl Alice, she's a journalist, and she does like a lot of like celebrity pieces, and she writes on a bunch of different stuff through this company that she works for. And she ends up finding Margaret Ives, and Margaret invites her out to kind of feel her out and possibly hire her to write her biography. And this is like a huge deal to Alice, because obviously getting the chance to write a biography is a huge deal for a journalist. And the fact that Margaret hasn't talked to anybody in 50 years. And Margaret Ives is kind of like, a lot of this story is kind of like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, where Margaret Ives is like this big socialite. Like, her family was like the Ives, like kind of like how the Kardashians are, like, is kind of how I'm picturing it. Like, they were in the limelight, like, and they like owned like all of these newspapers and media outlets and tabloids, and they controlled the narrative. And so Margaret and her sister, a little bit less her sister, more Margaret. Margaret was like the socialite, the it girl, the one everyone wanted to be. And then something happened. Something seems like something tragic. I'm talking a lot with my hands. It seems like something tragic happened, and we obviously don't know what. And so she ends up going to Margaret's home. She gets there, and as she's leaving, Hayden is coming in, and she's like, oh good, my 2 o'clock is here. And she's also meeting with Hayden, and Hayden is like a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who has written a biography already that won the Pulitzer Prize, and he's like a very renowned journalist. Whereas to Alice, she doesn't feel that way. Like, she is not Pulitzer Prize winning. She's not, like, in her head she's like, oh great, like he's great and I'm not. So anyway, so then a little bit later, the whole plot of this is that Margaret is going to hire Hayden and Alice for 1 month. They're both going to be living in this small town in Georgia. It's like a little island, which I love the vibe of this book. Like, I'm obsessed with like just the small town. You're getting these like little recurring characters, like these little recurring coffee shops. Obsessed. But anyways, so Margaret's like, I'm gonna hire both you guys for 1 month. I will, meet with you guys throughout this 1 month, and then you'll write up something at the end of the month. You turn it in, and I'll tell you guys who I'm gonna go with after that. And so it's essentially like a trial run for each of them. But Hayden and Alice, like, obviously bump into each other a lot. It's a very small town, and so you're getting like, it's all in Alice's point of view. And so you're getting like Alice's thoughts and everything when she bumps into Hayden and their interactions. And then you're also getting, there's like a section called The Story, and you're actually getting the story of Margaret Ives, like as she's telling it. And it has like their version, like what the tabloids said back in the day, versus her version, like what actually happened. And it's just super interesting to have this kind of dual storyline going on, to where we're in present day, and we're hearing Alice talk to Margaret, and then you're having Alice, meet with Hayden, and you're having her interactions there. And her as a character, I love her. Like, she's so fun and bubbly and just like talks to anyone and is just, so I just really, really enjoy her character. And Hayden is like the dark, grumpy, broody guy. But their banter, pure, as Emily Henry does, is funny. It's hilarious. Like, I've already like highlighted so much in this book. And so yeah, so that's essentially what you're following. You're following Hayden and Alice. They're both writing up a story on Margaret Ives, for a month, and then we're gonna see at the end of the month what happens. I'm sure we have some romance that's brewing already, but they both are just kind of like, oh, well, we have this like 1 month thing, and it's like, neither of us want to give up this story, so let's maybe, what are we gonna do? So yeah, loving it, having a fun time, enjoying the premise, loving the writing, loving the characters, loving the banter. As of right now, I don't think that there's anything I don't like. That's the update. I will keep you guys posted on my thoughts, and I will catch you guys later. Good morning, friends. So I have not done the final clip for this vlog, and it has been quite a few days since I last talked to the camera and since I finished Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. So I just wanted to wrap up what I've read, talk about the books, and then talk about Great Big Beautiful Life. So first book I finished was the audiobook for Finley Donovan Digs Her Own Grave. I gave that book a 3.75. Really enjoyed it. Typical Finley Donovan fun. If you've never read the Finley Donovan series, I highly recommend the audiobooks. They are just such a fun time. Like the different antics that Finley, Vero, the two kids, her ex-husband, everything they get into is just honestly funny. I didn't enjoy this one as much. There wasn't as much comedy, but we did get like a deeper dive into one of the characters' backstory and just learn more about them. And I did really enjoy that part of the book. Then I read The Perfect Divorce by Jeneva Rose, which is the sequel to The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva Rose, which came out years ago. It was honestly one of the first books that I read when I got my original Kindle, like I said, years and years ago. So, in this story, you are following the main character from the last book, Sarah. She's now, without spoiling anything, it's kind of hard to get into it because I don't want to spoil the first book. So you kind of leave off 10 years after the ending of the first book, and you're kind of following her journey as she's going through another situation. Okay. I rated this one a 2 stars. I was not the biggest fan. It was a very quick read. It definitely kept me entertained, and I did like that there were multiple point of views, but it felt very predictable and honestly just boring. Like I felt like I kind of knew things were going to happen. I kind of could tell that certain characters were going to not be what they said they were, or there was going to be something up with the characters. Like it wasn't bad, but like it wasn't good. Like I wouldn't recommend it. I just feel like it's not really like needed. I felt like where the first book kind of left off was enough. So yeah, so 2 stars for that one. And then the final book I read was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I really, really enjoyed this book. So you're following Alice and Hayden. They both show up to this little island in Georgia, and they're meeting up with Margaret Ives, who is essentially, in my eyes, like if you've read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, she's like Evelyn Hugo, or like she's like this older woman who back in the day used to be like everything. Like she was all like, she married like the most popular rock star. Her family was like the Ives family. They were like this huge conglomerate of like media outlets and things like that. But all of a sudden, you know, she kind of just fell off the face of the earth. Alice and Hayden ended up finding her, and they are kind of pretty much there to vie for the same job. They both want to write a biography, and the Ives family story from her point of view. So this story is interesting how it's told, because you have the regular chapters, which are explore Alice, Hayden, and them in the little town with each other, meeting the townspeople and talking to Margaret. And then there's also these chapters called The Story, which is Alice's writing of Margaret's story, essentially. Yeah, so that's essentially the story we're following. They're getting to interview Margaret Ives. Everything is in Alice's point of view. And then you're getting Alice and Hayden's story. So from the beginning, it is very like insta-love, like, but their banter is really, really good because Hayden is a grump. So I do really enjoy their banter. Like that's one of my favorite things, is just when they go back and forth with each other. So overall, I gave this book a 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It's honestly probably one of my favorite Emily Henry books since I've read like book lovers beach read stuff, because I wasn't a huge fan of Happy Place, and Funny People was okay, but I think this was a little bit better in my opinion than Funny People. So I had a really, really fun time. The ending felt a little rushed, just a little bit, because I remember getting to maybe, I don't know, I had like 30 pages left, and I was like, there's so much stuff to wrap up. How is it going to wrap up in these next 30 pages? And it did. It definitely did. But it was just, it felt like it was like on the quicker side. Like I feel like if we could have spaced it out, or maybe like I don't know, added a little something, but it was not bad at all. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. I had such a fun time. Anytime like I wasn't reading, I wanted to pick up the book, and I just was like laughing, and like I really, really loved Alice and Hayden's relationship. I thought that they were very just cute together. And I kind of like that I wish we got more Hayden, like more of his backstory. Like, that is something that I wish with Emily Henry books. Like, I wish her books were dual POV, like 100%. 4 stars, really good. I hope you guys enjoyed the new releases vlog part 2. There are so many books coming out, so we will definitely be doing a part 3. There's a book coming out, new Frida McFadden book, there's a new Liz Tom Ford book, there's a new Chloe Walsh book. There's so many books, I can't even think straight, to be honest with you. So we'll be doing another new releases vlog, I'm sure. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.